From all of us here at Walt Disney World Resort, we're looking forward to helping you make your stay as magical and memorable as can be. See you real soon.
You're familiar with this brand, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is about Disney. Are you hearing an echo or something? All right. So we will proceed. I will just bring you back to have a recap of whatever we've done till the last class, and then we will see how we are moving forward with those examples, right? So we have seen how the customer-based brand equity pyramid looks like and what is the model all about. The model actually talks about what are the building blocks for customer-based brand equity to be built up. So on the left-hand side of the pyramidal model, we had looked at 6 blocks or 6 dimensions on which the marketers will have to work upon. And the right side of the pyramidal model are about the 4 questions that typically arise in the minds of the customers as they think about different brands and they try to relate to different brands. And the answers to these questions typically reveal the kind of engagements that can happen on different dimensions. So on the base of the pyramid is the broadest part of the model, which means a lot of work has to be done to build the brand salience. And we've looked at the brand salience aspects, subdimensions also. And the subdimension aspects that are part of the brand salience is what was there in the subsequent slide about category identification of the brand. To what category does the brand, the product, the offering belong to? The need satisfaction of that particular brand offer, the product or service. What does it really satisfy? So that brings us to this dimension, which is the basic base of the pyramidal model, which is the first block of the customer-based brand equity. Then we looked at the next 2 blocks, which is above the brand salience, which are performance and imagery. And the question to that, which the questions are being answered, is the question from the customer's mind, which pertains to what is the meaning about the brand? What are you? What is the meaning that the customer derives from the brand offering in terms of the performance and imagery? Subdimensions that we've looked at in the previous class. So under the performance subdimension, we see that there is 1 minute, I think the screen. Right, I hope you're able to see the screen now. So we have looked at, so I was recapping the brand performance as customers typically ask from about brands is about what is the identity of the brand, right? So when we talk about the identity of the brand, we are basically asking, who are you? All right. So now when the basic identity of the brand is established, the next thing which comes up is to understand the brand performance and imagery, which are the subsequent 2 blocks, which is the second and third block of brand performance. Look at the imagery aspect of it, because when customers are trying to figure out the answer to the question that they're asking of brands, which is what are you, what do you mean? So they're not only looking at the performance of the brands, but they're also looking at the image. So they are also creating a certain kind of image about the brand, and that is what brand marketers typically try to do. So you've seen with the Disney video that they're trying to showcase it as a family brand where people can come for different entertainments, and they are actually showcasing that particular creative or that particular video advertisement relating to how different kinds of people can come there and have a lot of entertainments and a lot of fun options. And it is something that is absolutely very, very pure, fun kind of an environment. Right. So the user profiles that you saw of Disney, similarly, brand marketers try to depict the different kinds of user profiles that they are aspiring to reach out to. And these kind of user profiles really appeal to different kinds of people based on how they are, or how they see themselves as actually they are, or maybe some kind of an aspirational aspect. All right. The other aspect of imagery is to do with building the purchase and usage situations. Like, where do you think that customers would like to purchase a brand? When do you think that customers would be really using this brand? So that is why the purchase and usage situation is something that is envisaged by the brand marketers and try to communicate to the target market. Right. Similar thing we saw in the Disney video as well, the introductory video that I showed you before today's class, wherein they are trying to showcase who should be coming there, when should people come in, what can they expect when they come there, what kind of, so that destination itself. So it's not really a product, it's a service, it's a destination. And so it's much more challenging to market something like a destination, something like a service oriented product, which is not a tangible offering, like say a bottle of shampoo or a cake of soap. So here the purchase and usage situations is the imagery aspect, which is going to be created by the brand marketers and communicated for consumer appeal. And that's what we saw in the exemplary video that we saw in the introduction about Disney as well. And we will see some more videos and some more information from another brand as well, as I told you, which is Nike. Next about the imagery is the personality and the values. So what kind of personality do you want your brand to appear as? Personality would mean those qualities that people see in an entity, which defines who they are, how they are perceived, and what kind of value system. So we will also look at some of the values that are driving some of these great companies. Values which drive the principles which are behind the operations of these brands. So it's typically like a human to human interaction. People want to really be associated with brands which really have value systems, which have principles, which have missions in place, which are there to be working for the sustainable human welfare and not just to make profits and thinking only one way. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship, and they would like to be associated with brands with whom they can also relate in the personality wise aspects as well. And of course, what matters at the end of the day is also the history, heritage, and experiences. And we will see that how brands or different marketers, successful marketers, really depend and do really leverage on the history and heritage that they have, and the kind of experiences that they have been through while they have been in the market serving customers with different kinds of offerings, right? So what are these things that we were talking about? These are the imagery aspects. So performance and imagery are the second and third building blocks in the customer-based brand equity pyramid, which answers the question pertaining to the question which customers are asking, which is on the right side of the screen that you see, which is about the meaning of the brand, which is what are you? After this second level of the CBBE pyramid, we come to the third level of the pyramid, that is going from down to up. The third level of the pyramid consists of another two blocks. Which are the two blocks? Judgments and feelings. So what are judgments and feelings all about? The judgments and feelings are those aspects of the brand marketing that have to be catered, because the question pertaining to this level would be something a little above or advanced than the previous two questions which customers were asking. So the first question which the customers were asking were about the identity of the brand. What are you? Who are you? The of the brand. What do you stand for? What are you basically about? What do you mean? What is your performance? What do you really are going to satisfy? And the third level is the response. What is the response of the customer that the customer is seeking? What about you? So they are trying to judge, and they are trying to have a kind of a attachment to the brand if they find it suitable. So the judgment of the brand is one block, which is the judgments and the feelings that are going to be created after perceiving all the brand stimuli that the marketeers would have kept out for the market. So let us see some of the dimensions for judgments. So how are judgments going to be created in the minds of the customers? How are customers going to judge brands? The judgment will occur based on quality, on credibility, consideration, and superiority, right? So what is this quality? Quality is those aspects, those features or characteristics that make a product or service fulfill the need that it is supposed to be meant for, right? It could be a pen which writes really efficiently. It could be a car which operates without breaking down frequently. It could be a water purifier which purifies water and ensures that water that is taken after it is purified does not cause any kind of waterborne diseases. So what is the quality of a water filter? The features and characteristics that make the water filter operate to its maximum capacity to satisfy the need that it is meant for. What is the need that it is meant for? To purify the drinking water. All right. What is the quality of a car? The quality of the car would be those kind of features and characteristics of a car that make it, able to provide the ability to transport from one place to another in the most efficient manner. All right. So those features, it could be the mileage, it could be the ability to travel distances, it could be the ability to operate smoothly, it could be the ability to steer itself, various kinds of things. Let's look at the next aspect, which is credibility. Credibility means, so who is the brand? What is the brand? From which company is the brand emanating from? Is it trustworthy? Is it reliable? So the next judgment which the customer is going to think of is the consideration. Do I consider this brand for my purchase of that category, right? So when customers are going to consider the brand must complete several features in which there is acceptability from the customer's viewpoint about many things, among which quality and credibility are the two most important aspects. Then comes the superiority, which means the competitive advantage of that particular brand offering, whether it's a product or service, whether it is superior than competitive offers. All right. So this or these set of sub-dimensions are part of the judgments. The next thing is about the feelings of the brand. So how do you create feelings with the customer? Because the question is about, what is the question that the customers are asking at the third level? The question customers are asking is, what about you? So they are trying to have a kind of a response built in. Looking at the brand marketing, the feelings aspect would be something to do with the subjective evaluation, the feeling aspect, which may not be always very rational, which may not always be very objective. It might be very subjective. It could be very personable. So what are some of the sub-dimensions? The sub-dimensions under the judgment, under the feelings aspect, would be pertaining to whether the brand can evoke emotions of warmth or fun, or excitement, or security, social approval, and self-respect. Can some of you mention in the chat box, what do you think is the kind of feeling, all right, that the brand Disney is trying to create with the customers? Is it trying to create a feeling of warmth or fun or excitement, or a feeling of security, social approval, or self-respect? So first question to you is, Disney brand, what kind of feeling does it try to evoke from customers? You can give just one word from that list which you see on the screen. I'll give you another example. Let's say you talk about State Bank of India. When you think about State Bank of India, the government-owned bank of the country, What do you think the marketing of State Bank of India tries to evoke? Is it warmth, fun, excitement, security, social approval, or self-respect? Give your answer, right? Third question. All right. Let us talk about, for example, the airline brand Indigo. All right. What type of feeling does Indigo try to create? Is it warmth, fun, excitement, security, social approval, and self-respect? Keep your answers coming in. I've already seen one answer coming in. Very good. Thank you, Pranita. Excitement, fun, Disney. Excellent. Very good. Thank you so much. So Disney, Pranita is saying it evokes excitement and fun. Right. Thank you so much, Omkar. SBI. So yes, rightly identified. Security is what is getting is the feeling that is tried to be created from SBI. Very good. Santosh, security as well. Excellent. What else? So which are the three brands I told you? I told you to tell me about Disney, about SBI, and about Indigo. All right. So do tell me, what do you think they are all about? So it is also possible, while you send in your answers, you might also want to understand this, that a brand need not, from the list, need not have all the feelings to be evoked. That means Disney need not evoke warmth and fun and excitement and security and social approval and self-respect. Now, why am I highlighting, or why am I building that tonality on all the points? It's only because you might choose a particular set of feeling that you want to evoke based on the type of brand that you are. Right? So a bank or a banking or financial services company or the set of companies in the banking and financial services or insurance space might want to create all their brand marketing activities towards not only creating judgments of quality and credibility and all of that, but also the feeling of security, because you're taking care of people's investments, security of investments today, right? So yeah, so what happens is a brand may not want to create all types of feeling for the customer. So a brand in the financial space may not try to create a feeling of excitement, right? But on the other hand, an entertainment brand, says Sony, or you talk about any of the the channels, say supposing it's a movie channel, or you're talking about a cricket channel or something like ESPN. So what is that channel going to be talking about? Maybe the fun, the excitement aspect, and not the security aspect. So people, the brand marketers will need to really choose certain aspects of the feeling that they would like to evoke. Yeah, so Indigo, the answer has come in. Omkar is saying economy travel. So economy travel would mean what? Economy travel is fine, but what is the feeling therefore? What's the feeling? We say economy travel. The other thing which Indigo harps upon is reliability, on-time performance, on time, every time. So what is it that they are really trying to evoke? What's that feeling? See, economy travel is not a feeling. It's like a characteristic, right? Students, please try to identify this. So when you look at the screen, please look at the screen right now. Economy travel, traveling at economic prices, low cost prices. Where does it go to? Where does it really go to? Okay, Santosh, will come to your answer also, social approval. Please look at the screen and tell me, if it is economic travel that you are highlighting, which dimension does it come to? Is it a characteristic of the airline travel? The tickets are available at economic prices. Low. All right, I think there was an interruption. So we were talking about this particular company like Indigo, and we said that try to identify what is a feeling versus what is a characteristic. So your answer which came in saying that, because I was asking what is the kind of feeling that Indigo tries to evoke. So we got it right for SBI, we got it right for Disney. Now, when you come to Indigo, you're saying economy travel. You're also saying social approval. I'm also saying that it is also about reliability. saying that not only even when I'm paying a low cost fare, the usability or the customers are guaranteed about reliable travel, which is on time performance, on time departures, on time arrivals. And that's what is one of the important marketing features of the brand. Now I'm trying to highlight to all of you, please look at the chat box. You have a, you have one kind of answer which is given there, which is economic travel. So when I'm saying that economic travel, which means the fare is cheap, cheap fares, is it a feeling or is it a characteristic of a product? Cheap air tickets, less costly air tickets. So we were saying that, they were typically the low cost carriers which came into the markets, and they said that, the flight ticket for a sector, say for example, Bengaluru to Delhi, would have been costing in full cost airlines, for example, 20,000 rupees at one point of time. And then the low cost carriers, they came into the market saying that the same Bengaluru Delhi flight would cost you 7,000 rupees. So where is 7,000 rupees ticket versus where is 20,000 rupees ticket? But what was the marketing feature for a low cost carrier like say Indigo versus something like a full cost carrier at that point of time, Jet Airways? So the USP of the LCC would be that they would not serve meals in all the flights. They would try to provide the basic flying service for customers who wanted to do air travel, and they would ensure that the ticket prices just takes care of the operational aspect and not about any other services. So they were able to promote lower prices. So when you talk about lower prices, that's a characteristic of a product, that's a feature of a product, right? So 20,000 rupees ticket in a full cost airline for a sector versus the same travel in a low cost carrier was perhaps being quoted at a much lesser price of say 7,000. So when you talk about economic travel, we are meaning that the flight ticket prices are much cheaper as compared to any other option of the air travel. All right. And of course, there could be many other aspects. It's not only about the monetary aspects of the ticket or the travel, but also the time that you save, the hassles of, going through any other modes of travel like rail or road travel and all that. So there are many aspects based on which people look at value for money for their travel. So coming to the question, the answer that you have shared, Omkar, say economic travel, I would rather say that people are really choosing this and also choosing the fact that the reliability of the travel. So they are actually looking at security, saying that when I book a ticket with Indigo, I'm not only guaranteed about the reliable travel, but also I know that I have taken a ticket which is going to be cheaper in the market, and there would not be any kind of variation in the ticket prices compared to other service providers. All right. The next question is social approval. So Santosh said social approval. Social approval for what? Social approval that I am able to take a flight, maybe. You can elaborate if you want. Social approval that perhaps you're able to fly. So some people think air travel gives them a social status rather than perhaps traveling by train or traveling by road. So yes, social approval could be something that you are able to at least afford air travel. Previously, again, before the advent of these ability to go in for air travel was restricted mostly to the upper class income category people only. Hence, air travel used to be considered to be something of the upper class status people. When the LCC, that is the low cost carrier airlines came, it also made air travel affordable to a lot of people. So yes, it could be social approval as well. And that is a feeling. I hope you all have got the aspect understood it, that what are the characteristics of a brand versus what are the feelings that the brands try to evoke. All right, brands feeling would be something which is felt by the customer because of many aspects of the marketing thing. Now let us look at the pinnacle of the pyramid. What is the pinnacle of the pyramid? Which pyramid am I talking about? The customer based brand equity pyramid. So we are now coming to the sixth block of the customer based brand equity pyramid. And the sixth block at the pinnacle, at the top of the pyramid, is the building block of resonance. That is, you are trying to have a building of brand equity marketing wherein you're trying to build a resonance with the customer in terms that you're going to forge between the brand and the customer, the kind of emotional connect that the customer is going to have with the brand. So therefore, the question that is going to be asked from the customer side about the brand would be pertaining to the fourth question that you see on the right side of the screen, which is after the three questions have been answered. All right, so the fourth question is about relationships, which means what about you and me? The customer is asking, what about you as a brand and me? What kind of relationship can we forge between us? So why is this question being asked, and why is it the last question? Because the customer already identifies the brand, about what it stands for, what it satisfied, what kind of need. They do understand the performance and the imagery, they do understand, and they have built a judgment, and they have certain feelings about the brand. And therefore the question comes is that whether to patronize that brand, if it's a service brand, if it is to be purchased, if it is going to be a tangible brand, and what about going forward with this brand. So what are some of the dimensions of this sixth block? The resonance, the pinnacle of the pyramid. It's about the loyalty that the brand can command from the customer, the attachment or the set of community that you can build around the brand with the customers. And there are a lot of opportunities, these media platforms being adequately available, and it all depends on how you can use that, the different kinds of engagement that you can build with the brand. So the brand customer engagement over time, surrounding many factors, many contemporarily relevant factors, which can help you to create this kind of a resonance, right? So when you want to ensure that customers keep buying your brand or repatronizing your brand repeatedly, despite situational influences that can cause switching behavior, you have, when you also ensure as a brand marketeer that people are not only patronizing your brand and repatronizing your brand, they're not only buying and rebuying your brand, but they're also advocating the brand to others. They are also recommending the brand to others. They're ensuring that they're giving word of mouth references to others. You've really achieved that kind of resonance with the customer, which means the kind of attachment, the kind of loyalty that not only people are buying it themselves, but also would love to talk about the brand, spread the word about how great the brand is and how people should really use it. Right? And in all of these, you can really create different kinds of engagement. All right. So we have looked at different aspects of it. I would now like you to bring one of the marketers that you all are familiar with, which is Nike. All right. So when you talk about Nike, you would, I'm sure that you've heard about this brand. How many of you have heard about this brand Nike? Put in your answers in the chat box. Nike. Do you know this brand? One is to know the brand. Second would be whether you've used this brand at any point of time in your life. So how many of you have, you know it and you have used it? Please put your answers in the chat box, and we'll go along with the brand and see certain aspects about it. And then we look at a video from their CEO about their vision for taking the brand forward. So in all aspects of this, you must have noticed something, which is that this brand Nike, there is a kind of a symbol attached to it. So when you think about the brand, what's a brand? Brand is a name, term, sign, symbol, or a combination of them intended to identify a seller or group of sellers and differentiate them from competition, right? So do you think Nike is one such brand? Do you think it's a name, a term, a sign, a symbol? Yes. Okay, right. What do you think this brand name stands for? Nike? What does this name stands for? Anybody can put in their answers in the chat box. Nike, and then tell me what is your symbol. So you have adequate things. What I'm asking you right now is, can you please identify all those elements which make up this brand Nike? So what is a brand? Name, term, sign, symbol, combination of them. So do identify and tell me, what is this name? What are the terms that are used with Nike? What are some of the symbols that are used with Nike? And what are some of the things that are associated with Nike, or aspects which are associated with Nike as you know it? Of course, we could have taken any other brand as well. We could have taken an Adidas or something else. I just chose to take this because this is something that we all, I believe we all have we all know about this brand in one way or the other, right? So that's why I've taken it. There's no prior bias and choosing this brand. So do tell me, what are some of these logos? What is this meaning of this, term Nike? And do identify and tell me, what is this, this symbol that stands? What is it called? I'm sure you are all familiar with this. What is it called? So let us look at some of the marketing things about on the Nike website. All right. So here it is about the purpose of Nike. So the purpose of Nike here is to break barriers, and you can see the imagery. What do you see on the screen? I think all of you can see the screen, right? Yes, the screen is getting shared. So my alternate device tells me that the screen has got shared, so you can see something. What you see on the screen is what is coming across on the website. So that's how it is. It's not that I have cut off the top portion of the lady's, the athlete's head, but that's how it is coming across. Now, what about this, this particular athlete kind of a figure that you see on the screen? There's a particular communication that is built around, even in terms of the ethnicity that is being tried to be portrayed on what you see on the screen. The athlete's ethnicity, inclusiveness, diversity, appeal, the kind of imagery that you're trying to portray, and of course, somebody wearing that particular brand, right? So it is breaking barriers that they are talking about. Nike exists to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. So this word athlete is something of recurrence in the brand's, communication throughout decades. Look at what is the purpose of Nike as they show it. Our purpose is to move the world forward through the power of sport, breaking barriers and building community to change the game for all. If you have a body, you are an athlete, which means what? It means that you need not be a competitive sports athlete, but we are trying to say about the fact that what we all know about fitness being one of the integral aspects of a human being. Right? So we need to understand that, as we generally understand that, a healthy body is a storehouse of a healthy mind. So in order to create a healthy body, one really needs to take care of the body in terms of adequate amount of food, nutrition, exercise, and so many other things. So here, athlete is one of the aspects, and they're trying to say that athlete is not somebody who's only the renowned competitive sports people who are acknowledged to be holding certain positions in some of the games, but if you have a body, you are an athlete. Now let us look at something. There's a message from their president and CEO, and we will see the video, and afterwards we'll continue the conversation.
At Nike, we're driven by our belief in the power of sport to move the world forward. And that's why I'm proud to introduce our fiscal year 20 Nike Inc. Impact Report. This report shows clearly and transparently how we bring our purpose to life for our people, our planet, and our community. The report, which you can read at purpose.nike.com, illustrates how we create positive change. It indicates the great strides we've made to deepen diversity and inclusion across our team. Globally, women now make up 50% of our corporate workforce. And in the US, people from underrepresented groups now make up 29% of our leaders at the VP level. The report also shows how sustainability continues to be one of Nike's top priorities. In the race against climate change, we aren't just waiting for solutions, we're creating them through greater use of sustainable materials and developing sustainable products that rely on circular design. And today, we use 100% renewable energy for our owned and operated sites in the US and Canada. And third, we're investing to strengthen our communities. In fiscal year 20, we committed $140 million across the Nike Inc. family to support organizations that advance racial equality. We also committed more than $30 million to COVID-19 response efforts around the world. In these three areas and more, our progress is measured against targets we set for ourselves. And this year, we're launching a new roadmap, our Purpose 2025 targets. These targets aren't just aspirations. They outline clear goals, action plans, and accountability. And so as we look forward, Nike's values will always lead us, and we will never, ever stop striving for better.
So I think you've seen the message from the president and CEO. Do you want me to rerun this once again? Would that help you to understand that? It is a short video, so of 2 minutes. So I think we can rerun it so that you can just have a look at everything that they're really talking about. So right from the characteristic of the brand to the kind of purpose that is driving the brand to the kind of judgments that to kind of things that would create judgments in the customer's mind, to notice how every aspect that he's highlighting is also about creating that kind of brand familiarity as well as the feelings. And finally, the resonance, like why this brand really should be considered because of its long-term purpose. And he's also talking about some brand mission and target of 2025, right? Just have a look at it. We'll rerun it once again.
Nike, we're driven by our belief in the power of sport to move the world forward. And that's why I'm proud to introduce our fiscal year 20 Nike Inc. Impact Report. This report shows clearly and transparently how we bring our purpose to life for our people, our planet, and our community. The report, which you can read at purpose.nike.com, illustrates how we create positive change. It indicates the great strides we've made to deepen diversity and inclusion across our team. Globally, women now make up 50% of our corporate workforce. And in the US, people from underrepresented groups now make up 29% of our leaders at the VP level. Ranked racial equality. We also committed more than $30 million to COVID-19 response efforts around the world. In these areas, aren't just aspirations. They outline clear goals, action plans, and accountability. And so as we look forward, Nike's values will always lead us, and we will never, ever stop striving for better.
So that's what you have seen about the video here. You can access that at purpose.nike.com, and you can look at the host of things that they're actually doing. So you've seen how they are focusing on people, planet, community, looking at inclusion in their brand marketing activities, both internal resources as well as marketing aspects to the customers. They're talking about diversity and inclusion from the inside of the company. So it's like really walking the talk. And they're also talking about sustainability. So he's talking about the purpose of sustainability, and what he was actually describing is the impact report. And they're talking about the fact that they are keeping themselves focused on certain targets at 2025. So wherein they are going to achieve a lot of milestones. So do have a look at that, and you'll see what are the driving things. So it's just more than a brand that you see on a pair of shoes or a kind of any garment that you see, any accessory product. Will again be a very important and integral part of marketing your product or a brand. And people aspect which means internal resources, your employees, as well as your customers are very critical resources. So here you see how Nike is building both, because only when you have really happy employees, happy set of people who are really making the your customers, can you really satisfy your customers. So only if you have really satisfied set of people, because your people are the knowledge base, they are your human capital that makes the entire proposition of the brand very, very relevant to customers. So the brand is not an inanimate entity that just operates on an auto mode. It is actually created, envisioned, and then promoted by a set of people thinking about the target segment. So it's people behind the scenes, and it's about people and making the brand relevant to people in the market. So that's why people are important. Look at how the planet aspect is also an important aspect. To protect the planet, we don't wait for solutions, we create them. So there are various aspects that they have done, a lot of innovative things that this brand has done in order to create different types of sustainable raw materials that they use for making their products, as well as ensuring that they are not harmful to the environment, and as well as they must be definitely very well affordable and also of value to the customers. The other thing is to focus on the play aspect, the other little non-serious aspect about marketing to kids and the active next generation for a stronger future, right? So what you see on this screen is again the global marketing space. This brand has various kinds of efforts that it has made. And there are certain impact reports that are there, and there is the 2025 targets that he was talking about that you can look at. Do have a look at the website. You can see many things about Nike, the news, the investor relationships, and various kinds of options to engage with them on the career front. And of course, different kinds of options that they have made in terms of gift cards, promotions, finding a store, because that's where people are going to buy the product from, signing up for emails in order to create that connect. So email connect with the customers to update them with various kinds of information about the product and their marketing efforts. In case you want to become a member, that's also there. And of course, you have the Nike journal. And one critical aspect is the continuous set of feedback option that the brand keeps, which is a continuous option about the reverse information flow. So one aspect of information flow is always from the brand marketeer to the customer. The other reverse information that you really require is the other aspect of receiving input from your customers back to the company, on which you can really work upon, right? So this is one aspect. If you look at another aspect of this brand, I have just gone back to the Nike website. The URL is www.about.nike.com. And here, if you notice, students, this is the mission of the company, which drives their brand building activities. Bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete, right? If you have a body, you are an athlete. And about Nike, this is what they are propagating. They are telling what is it that drives Nike to market its brand. The mission is what drives us to do everything possible to expand human potential. So it's not about any particular product. It's not about any particular variety of a product or a particular model of a shoe or a particular model of an accessory. So they're talking about the possibility to expand human potential. We do that by creating groundbreaking sport innovations, by making our products more sustainably, by building a creative and diverse global team, and by making a positive impact in communities where we live and work. Positive impact, which means whatever you're giving to the community must yield a positive result. And they're based in Beaverton, Oregon. Nike Corporation includes the Nike, Converse, and Jordan brands. So it by itself is a huge kind of a case study. So it has a lot of brands, and there is a history, heritage, and experience behind all of these efforts. So here they talk about the innovation, and see, this is why the brand connect remains. That's why today Nike is also considered to be one of the aspirational brands among both the young and the old set of customers, or I would rather say right from the kid stage, a very young age to a very senior age. People across the demographic profiles, across lifestyle profiles, have or would have used Nike at one point of time or the other. And as it is said, whom is it for? It is for people. As long as they have a body, they are people who can use the product. Of course, the the price of the products might be above the average. It might be more. Some of their product pricing ranges are definitely at a higher range than others, but so do they justify that with the kind of quality that is there in the product. Right. So one of the aspects about the product happens to be the innovation, where they say that we dare to design the future of sport. To make big leaps, we take big risks. So you can look at the innovation aspect. So you see that everything matters in the brand marketing. It's just not about 4 Ps or a 7 Ps or 6 Ps or whatever number of Ps you talk about, but it's the entire total offering that you really think about when you think about marketing a brand. Look at the team, as I was telling you, the team that is empowered in their company, which is diverse and inclusive. And that really talks about the marketing. In this context, I would like to draw all your attention, students, about the fact that one thing with marketing companies is that they always talk about diversity and inclusion. And in similar vein, we also hear the same thing from companies like Google, for example. They're also talking about the fact that the more diverse and inclusive you will have in your team, the more insights you will have about whom to market to. So only when you have people who are, building a brand, who are from various backgrounds, from various ethnicities, from various kinds of, characteristics, it is then that the brand tries to understand the different kinds of needs and preferences that prevail in the market. So a team which is behind the brand marketing, which is empowered because of the kind of decisions that they can take, because of the kind of visions that are set in place, because of the kind of principles and values that drive a company, and which offers diversity and inclusiveness as one of the aspects, is really a company to ensure that they are able to meet the new needs of the customers in the near future as well as in the long term future as well. The next is the social and community impact. Like I was telling you about the triple bottom line aspect, all brands today in the contemporary era need to think about not only the economic profit, but also about the next bottom line, which is the social contribution, as well as the environmental contribution. So the social and community impact is, so it's just not about the 2% that you keep out of your profits for corporate social responsibility, the CSR activities, but what do you really participate in? What kind of inclusiveness do you build in with the society around you, with the community around you? So do have a look at all of these brand marketeers and how much of connect they try to create with the social and the community around them. And this is absolutely very, very local marketing. This is something that is going to be done by the community engagement that is going to be envisioned by the local marketeers. So, in the companies that, for example, ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, we used to have a lot of these kind of social and community initiatives also built into our marketing activities. So while we will have, I was part of the marketing activities to reach out to people and make sure that they subscribe to our insurance plans and they invest in our insurance plans and all of that. It was also very important for us as a company, and it was a mission or a value system of our ICICI Prudential Life Insurance Company, wherein we were mandated to also ensure that we also link with customers in a socially responsible way. So we used to also sponsor a lot of activities for children. We used to sponsor a lot of activities which was on the health front with the adults. And we used to promote a lot of activities which used to focus on the good health of customers, on focusing on sports, and make sure that the brand is having a connect with the social and community beyond what it is supposed to only sell and transact in terms of creating money and revenues. So the next aspect is about the planet, which is sustainable business innovation. So all of these put together, if you see, they build the kind of brand proposition that customers, and that is why these long-term brand building activities also reap a lot of rewards for the customers on a long-term basis, right? So if you may look at Nike's marketing activities as one of the major things, it's an ongoing kind of a case study. You also will see the similar set of, I'm going to shift this to the Disney website, which is the last of the companies that we will look at. So here I wanted to showcase to all of you another big brand which is focusing on, as you all have identified, the feeling that we have about such a brand is the fun, the warmth, the excitement, right? So this is the website, disneycompany.com. And this is where you land up in the website and you can see about the brand. So all of us at one point of time or the other would have been exposed to Disney company, their marketing activities, any product, something or the other is always part of our lives. And it has been so for almost a century or so. So there's a mission which drives this Walt Disney Company. The mission of Walt Disney Company is to entertain, inform, and inspire through the power of unparalleled storytelling, reflecting the iconic brands, creative minds, and innovative technologies that make ours the world's premier entertainment company. So do have a look at the mission. So this, while we all learn about mission and vision statements of a company as part of strategic management courses, do understand that these are an important aspect that makes a company what it is. It makes brands from those companies what they are: successful, more successful, or excellently successful with their customers or otherwise. So this is the mission. There is a leadership aspect. Disney's leadership team oversees the world's premier entertainment company, home of the most respected and beloved brands around the globe. These are some of the leadership people who are driving the brand forward, their board of directors. Now look at the businesses. So they're saying that they are in the entertainment space. They're not saying they're into a theme park only, like a Wonderla or something. They're just not saying that we're making certain toys. They're just not making some movies. But look at some of the entertainment options. So Disney parks, experiences and products, brands which are in the company across a variety of offerings, from parks to experiences to products. Disneyland Resort, Walt Disney World, Shanghai Disney Resort, Disneyland Paris. So various names which are there. Again, look at the different kinds of names, the sign, symbol, color combination, which also helps the customer to identify, recognize for what purpose it is. But one perennial theme which retains is the word Disney, right? So the brand has got extended into different categories, into different kinds of themes, different kinds of varieties of the offerings from the company. And you can see the combination. So each of the different businesses have got a different identity, but keeping certain thing, which is a common term, which is Disney as one of the aspects. Here, if you see adventures, but it is written as by Disney, right? And there are different types of online stores also where the different merchandises also can be purchased. So similar lines, we also have entertainment and distribution brands under their fold, right? From Disney, ESPN, Hotstar, Music Group, Hulu, right? You must be exposed to all of these. So what it really talks about, why I brought these two brands today forward for all of you, is to understand that different brands or global marketing companies really are doing certain things which you must be aware of, which in big or small scale can also be adapted to different kinds of situations. These are the companies which are staying ahead of the curve because of the different kinds of activities that they tend to do in terms of a holistic aspect of marketing that is taken into account. So brand marketing is just not dealing with the brand. When you talk about the customer-based brand equity model, it's not just about building a brand and connecting to the brand. It's about taking the brand to that high level where the brand resonance is created multiple versatile efforts of the company. So with this, today I'll close the class. In case you have any doubts, you can always reach back or connect to me on LMS, or we'll see you all in the next class. Right? Thank you so much for joining on time, being participative. Stay safe, and I will meet you in the next class. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.